What's up, guys? Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So in today's video, we're going to get in way too much detail about modeling landscape timbers. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. Okay, and so this is one of those things where you could use as much detail as you want, but I thought I'd really kind of like dive deep on the topic just because it's kind of fun sometimes to model something in way more detail than you actually need. And so the first thing we're going to do, because we're basically going to model something like this piece of timber, right? And you can model this really quickly just by drawing the end piece and then extruding it out. But we're going to talk about like texturing it and making it look more realistic. This is probably more than you would ever do, but there might be some interesting things in here for you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing the actual timber piece itself. And so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to start by drawing it rectangularly. And so we know approximately, and again, I wasn't able to find like super detailed measurements on this, but if it's a 3 by 5 by 8, and so generally it's probably going to be about 4.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches high, right? That's going to be the actual kind of like nominal dimensions in here. And so then what I'm going to do, because really they take a round log and then they kind of cut the ends off of it to make it flat on two ends, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle. So I'm going to tap the C key. I'm going to tap that left arrow key and mouse over the face. And I'm just going to find the center right here, right? And so what that does is that basically gives us a profile of what this log might look like. And now I'm not 100% sure exactly what the dimensions are on this, like how they exactly do this, but for what I'm doing right here, I can just come in here and use the eraser tool. So I can just tap the E key right here in order to get this in here as a profile. And then we'll go ahead and we'll extrude it out by 8 feet long. Now, the easiest way to work with something like this without messing around with a bunch of textures is just to take the whole thing and just apply a color to it, right? So in this case, what we would do is we would just go into our colors library in our materials. So you can just tap the B key in order to pop up this window. And we could just go into the preset colors and just pick one, right? That's going to be the easiest way. And one thing you can do is say you pick something like this burnt sienna, right? And I'm just going to select this whole thing and apply this to the surface. Say this is a little bit too dark for you. You could come in here and you can make adjustments using the color wheel in the edit tab. So if you go to edit right here, and we're going to just kind of lighten this up a little bit in order to get this kind of like lightish brown. Now that's the easiest way to do this. And then from there, you could kind of like group this so it doesn't merge with anything else. And say you had a bunch of them, you could just kind of like place them wherever you want them to be. So that's the easiest way to do this. But because I'm getting into way too much detail in this video, because that's the fun part, we're going to do this a little bit different. So we're going to come in here and we're going to start by just getting rid of this material. Now, one thing, you could use the built-in materials in SketchUp. There's a few of them built in. You can actually access more wood veneer materials by going into the 3D warehouse, clicking on this little button right here. I'll go ahead and turn my cursor highlighter on so you can actually see what I'm doing. So there are more materials in here. So you can kind of scroll through and look at these, and you could pick something like this wood veneer right here that's got some kind of like exposed knots in it and things like that. So you could definitely do that. So we would just select the whole thing. Now notice how if we apply this to the surface though, it's being applied to the outside of this group and we can't really control the way the material is actually being mapped to this surface. So what I would do instead is I'm going to double click in here and I'm going to apply this material to a face. Now, the first thing you might notice is the grain of this wood is going the wrong direction, right? The actual grain of the wood would run this way, not this way. And so what we can do, and if we applied it to this surface, we'd have the same problem. The grain's going to kind of run this way. And it kind of looks like you've laminated wood over top of it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to right click on this surface right here. Note that you need to be inside of the group so that you can actually select the face here in order to do that. But I'm going to right click on this, go to texture, position, then I'm going to right click and I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. Right here. Remember, you can kind of like click and drag around on this face if you decide you want to do that, and you can hit the enter key. Now, what I want to do is I want to sample this material. This is the one that's mapped in the proper direction, and we're just going to click on these two sides. Well, notice how now that wood grain is running the proper direction. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side right here. Now, I don't love the way that we've got 3 knots right on the top, so I might right click on this, go to texture, position, and click and drag this so we get something a little bit more like this, and then hit the enter key. Now, the thing with this though is we don't really have the ends of our wood the way that we want. And honestly, this is like way too nice for a landscape timber. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple ways that you could actually use like real world textures in here instead, so that we have a nice wood grain and this actually looks realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'll just make a copy over here, double click and do a Control A, and we will just apply the default material in order to remove the material that's in here. Now, what I like to do with something like this, and I'll go ahead and right click and explode it for now so that we're not having to click into that group over and over again. What I like to do with something like this is actually use a photo for my textures. And so what we need is we need 2 things. We need the ends, which are going to have an end grain that's different than what's on the sides, and we actually need a seamless texture. And so to start off, let's go with the wood grain. And so in this case, what I've done is I've just gone to Home Depot's website, and I'm just going to snip a picture of this wood grain. So you can use the Windows built-in snipping tool, or I use a tool from TechSmith called Snagit. It just kind of depends on what you want to do, but I'm just going to take that. And it's going to put it in my library inside of Snagit. Well, then what I want to do is I want to import that image into SketchUp. So for me, I can just drag it out of Snagit into SketchUp. But for you, you might need to go find where your snipping tool saves these files and drag it into SketchUp that way. And so now what I want to do is notice how this brought this in as an image. Well, I don't want this to be in here as an image. I want it to be in here as a surface with a texture applied to it so that I can use it. Well, to do that, what I can do is I can just right click and I can just click on the option for explode right here. That's going to explode this. Well, now notice how this is a face with an image that I can sample. So I can use this tool right here in order to select it. Now, one thing about this is if I go over here and try to apply this to this face, it's not actually going to work right. That's because this texture is set by default to projected. And so it's trying to like project it straight down. And so you get this kind of like weird effect. So what we want to do is just right click on that raw face, go to texture and uncheck projected. Well, then I can just sample the material, click on the surface right here. Well, now we're into the position texture world. So we've got this applied to this face. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, go into texture and do a position. And I'm going to start by just clicking and dragging this a little bit. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that these little pins in here are not the colors. They're just the little white pins. So right click on the surface and uncheck the box for fixed pins. Then these are now pins that we can single click on and we can move them to the corners of our end grain like this. So what I'm doing is just single clicking and just moving this like so. And the same thing here. And we're just single clicking in order to set these. So notice how I picked the corners that would correspond with the corners of the actual piece of wood right here. Well, now what I can do is I can click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, and click and drag, and then hit the enter key. Well, what we've done is we've now applied that wood grain texture to the end of my board right here, or my landscape timber. And so I'm just going to sample this. Then I'm going to orbit around. I'm going to apply the same thing on the other side like this. So now we have a piece of wood in here that actually has an end grain texture applied to it. Now, the other thing is I don't love any of the SketchUp textures for this, right? And there's like zero reason you would get to this level of detail, generally speaking, unless you just really like creating realistic landscape timbers or if there's going to be a close-up. But I actually want to match what's on that Home Depot website, right? I want a wood texture that looks like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use AI in order to generate a seamless texture that matches this piece of wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by snipping the wood right here, and I'm going to turn my cursor highlighter off so that it doesn't get yellow in the middle of that. But I'm just going to take this whole thing and I'm just going to click and drag across like this. And so what that's going to do is that's going to give me an image that shows me what the wood texture looks like. Well, now I'm going to go to ChatGPT If you use like Gemini, this should work too. But I'm just going to go to chatgpt.com and I'm just going to drag that texture image in. And I'm going to say, can you please make me a seamless texture image of the wood on a landscape timber to match the material in this image? And we're going to hit the enter key. So what that's going to do is that's going to go through and it's actually going to analyze this image and it's going to generate a seamless texture image of the wood on a landscape timber, which is crazy that it can do that, by the way. But I use this a lot if there's like specific materials that I need. If I just want to create something really fast, but it matches a specific material, I do this all the time. And generally speaking, it creates some pretty good textures. And so all this is going to do is generate an image that we can then download and drag into SketchUp. Okay, and so if we look at this, it's generated a texture image. Well, now I'm just going to click on that and go up to the option for download. That's going to download that as an image on my computer. And then we can just click and drag it into SketchUp. So I'm just clicked and dragged from that folder that we were in straight into SketchUp. Now I'm just going to right click on this material and click on the option for explode. We'll right click on the material again and make sure it's not projected. And then we'll just sample it and apply it to our log right here. And then I'm going to right click on it, go to texture, position. I'm going to right click again and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and hit the enter key. Then what I can do is I can just sample this material and just apply it to the two sides right here like this. And then the last thing I'm going to do, and this is optional, but it's something you can do if things either match or don't match. So I want this to be a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sample this material. I'm going to go into edit and I'm actually going to use the match color of object and model. You can also do match color on screen. I think I'm actually going to do match color on screen. And I'm just going to mouse over this and I'm going to pick a part of this that kind of represents the wood. Well, notice what that did is that came in here and that darkened this material. And you could lighten it up using your color wheel if you wanted to, if that made it a little bit too dark for you. But now what I have is I have an actual rough landscape timber in here that I could use over and over again inside of SketchUp. And since the point of this video is to go into way more detail than we might need on something like this, say that you wanted to automate this. Well, what you could do is you could use the extension Profile Builder. And by the way, this is optional. You don't have to go buy Profile Builder for this. But if you have Profile Builder, you could actually make this a reusable profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Profile Builder. I'll link to that in the notes down below, by the way, if you do want to check out Profile Builder. But you could actually create a library of these. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just taking the end piece of this landscape timber. I'm going to make a copy and slide it over. And I'm just going to do a Control X. I'll click out of the group and I'll do an edit paste in place, right? That's just going to get me this raw profile that's in here. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into Profile Builder's profile dialog. And what I want to do is I want to click on the button to add a profile. And we're going to call this landscape timber 3" by 5" right here. We'll click on OK. So what that's done is that's taken this and it's actually created it as a profile inside of SketchUp. So now what I can do is I can click in here and I can create this as a profile whenever I want. And so if you worked with multiple different landscape timber sizes, if you did something like this a lot, you could actually save this to your library. Unfortunately, I don't think you can save the material with the profile. I don't think I've tried doing that. I think it just allows you to apply the materials that you have inside of the model. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but notice how if I select that, this is going to apply that material automatically as well. But again, I don't know if that'll actually save that material to the log or not. But this gets really interesting because now if you had, say, a whole bunch of different logs that needed to go along an edge right here, what you could do is you could draw a curve like this and adjust the number of segments. So in this case, say I had a curve and I want it to be 4 segments. Well, I could now use this profile in order to draw these in over and over again. And so at the moment, notice how even if I pick a different junction type, it's still going to make this uninterrupted. But if I right click on this curve, click on the option to explode curve, which is going to make this into a bunch of individual edges. Now what I could do is I could extrude this, and it's going to create these as kind of like butted up edges right here, like so. So you could use this in order to create different kinds of junctions at the end. And I think the miter looks a little bit better in here. But then what that's going to do is that's going to generate this as individual pieces right here. All right, so that is everything I can think of that you could possibly want to know about creating landscape timbers like this. You could do the very simple stuff or you could get more complex, but I really like this concept of getting into way more detail than maybe you would want to for videos. So leave a comment below. Let me know if you like this format. I just love having that conversation with you guys. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.